Majax min qatt ma sema dak li ġara b'dak li sar. Jista' jiġi jfittex lilna fuq dal-bank taħt il-kampnar.
Min filgħodu sa flaxija. Jiena s-sieħba dejjem hawn. Sajfu xitwa bart u sħana. Naddu żmien nirrakkuntaw.
Dawn il-ħrejjef, dawn il-praspar, illi sfaw kemm ilu snin. Meta n-nies mid-dar għall-Knisja u bil-mod kien jgħaddi l-ħin.
L-ewwel waħda minn dal-ħrejjef li sibuha f'kemm il-ktieb hija l-ħrafa li jissimgħu sewwa ġaħan u l-bieb.
Hi kemm sar. Intom tafu kif fil-ġrajja ġaħan seraq il-bettieħa u kif kien taħt ħajt jikola qabżet fuqu it-tiġieġa.
Tafu kol kem beża ġaħan li t-tiġieġa tmur tużaħ. Kif qatil għal dik li msejkna ħajkun żgur li ħadd maraħ.
M'hemmx għalfejn nirrakkuntalkom kif il-kelb killu t-tiġieġa, kif il-baqra qatlet ulu neħħu żmien ma narax ħtieġa.
Aħjar naħseb li tisimgħu ir-rakkont ta' Zija ċett. Meta Ziju ġie minn barra għamlet ikla mill-kbarnet.
Għaltlu għammu ġaħan ibni, jekk trid tiekol sar il-ħin. Mor indafar għand-Zija għata l-ġuħ mal-mistednin.
U hekk għamel mar bil-ġirja zab li Zija tistennieh. Għaltlu ġaħan jekk trid tiekol ilbes libsa minnu fih.
Kellu jerġa' rankammu mar-ħasen taħt il-bit. Ommu kritlu lissa ġdida kemm tisma'.
Hello there. Long time no see. Just getting some things set up here. So we're doing something a bit different tonight because it is a stream and I may do some writing later, but I'm going to do a research stream first. Difference being unlike the last research streams I did where it's for school project, this is just for fun and for writing. And so I'll kind of get to talk through my process and maybe talk some about this idea that my nesting partner has unfortunately given me. And it allows me to do some culture talk. So, firstly, we are doing research on the country of Malta. I already did some preliminary research yesterday and today. I spent, 6 hours doing that today alone. And I have like 40 pages of notes, so and I'm just I haven't even gotten into the in-depth stuff yet. This is all just like preliminary information. One of which was we were just listening to Maltese folk music, which, if I looked it up correctly, is called Anna, or Maltese folk music, which isn't prominent so much anymore, but it definitely used to be. So the only problem is it has vocals, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it on just because it's going to be a bit distracting otherwise. I may look into like folk music from around that area that doesn't have vocals to it, just so it's not as distracting. But I did want to open up with it just for fun. So, in fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look. There's a guy named Faria Faraji who does music from all kinds of different places. I believe he's Iranian and Iranian, and does a lot of Iranian music, but he also does like Greek folk music. He does a bunch of stuff. So I may just start playing. Oh boy. If I mute myself, does it still play? Yeah. So hopefully that comes across fine. And yes, I know we're still in Bulbasaur. I haven't changed the screen yet, so give me a second before I do that. Oh, not that one. BG music. Just gonna have some background music during this tonight. From this playlist. So, with that, let's go ahead and transition here. So, leave me alone. I'm supposed to note the page I wanted this one. Gender roles and statuses, I'm there. So, yeah, like I said, we're doing research on the country of Malta today. Also, Google Docs implemented this new tabs system. It, I guess, makes it nice for sorting things into different categories a bit better than just all the headers do. So, I don't know, I'm trying it out with this document. So you might be asking yourself, Alex, why are we focusing on Malta, of all places? Because it's a tiny, tiny island in the middle of the Mediterranean. The answer becomes because October 10th, which, by the way, is when I released my debut novel, A Sharper, More Lasting Pain. If you like sapphic fantasy dark academias, it is available now on most major retailers. That's a little shameless plug there. But on said day, my nesting partner looked at me and said, I think you'd write a good post-apocalyptic fantasy. And I said, I do not need more book projects right now, but thank you. And he was like, well, we'll think about it, though. And so he presented an idea to me that I'm not going to share because I'm going to tweak it a bunch anyway. But he presented an idea to me, and I was like, I really don't need new book ideas right now, but thank you, like, for the suggestion. I'll bear that in mind should I need it. And then I kept thinking about it. And then I kept thinking about it, and then I kept thinking about it. And so I have already done a bunch of research on post-apocalyptic and, like, books that are post-apocalyptic fantasy, and there's surprisingly a few of them. One of which I should have realized is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. But, you know, you live and you learn. So Mistborn is a post-apocalyptic fantasy because the story is set after the apocalyptic event, like 1,000 years after the apocalyptic event of the bad guy winning. And so then that's the setting for, like, the fallout of what happened there is the setting, basically, for Mistborn and what happens thereafter. So, that's a post-apocalyptic fantasy. I found this one guy, Ryan, oh god. I don't think I finished looking through this last one, but Mistborn, Dark Tower, Ryan Law, that's his name. And so he had a series of blog posts about post-apoc and, like, different types of post-apoc and some post-apoc fantasy and whatnot, and so I kind of gleaned information from that. But I've had this idea for the longest time of making a Wind Waker-esque fantasy world. And for those that are unfamiliar with Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, essentially the plot for that is essentially Ocarina of Time, Ganon is killed, and a wish is made essentially to seal him away. And the gods, for whatever reason, decide the way to seal him away is they're going to flood the planet. And so then, oh, you can't get really good view at any of these, can you? Is this anything? Oh my god, no. Maybe? Okay, yeah. So essentially, the world floods and is reduced to a series of often really really tiny islands. And so I think the biggest island might be Windfall. Um, and there's a location in every quadrant because something collectibles and all that. But essentially, every quadrant is just an island, and that's it. And you have to sail between all of them. And so I've forever, because I really love Zelda, wanted to do a sort of Wind Waker style fantasy where the world has flooded, and that's like the setting backdrop there. And so I started to develop. Where is it here? Ignore the fact that it's called Eggland because I just needed something I just needed a placeholder name while I looked at this. And so, essentially I went to Donjon is a website that lets you, like, make, fantasy worlds and whatnot. Is this the same? I can't tell. We're gonna do this. The Donjon is a website that will let you develop maps and kind of test out different things. And so essentially, did I settle on 92 or 93? I think I settled on 93. 8% nice. And so I'm not, like, fully happy with this, but I'm mostly happy with it. Essentially this world where I think I settled on 92. So that's 90. Oh, that one may work better. I'm not sure. Anyway, the point here is I found a map in all of its... Oh, please don't download. I just want... Stop downloading. So this is kind of what Donjon spat back out at me, and so then I played with the water level some so I could kind of see how, like, a world before may have looked and whatnot, and I've been kind of developing it from there. And I think I want the main character to be from a place that's inspired by Malta. And oh, shut up. You saw how it works. Anyway, the reason for that is because my family on my mother's side is from Malta and from Greece and from that surrounding area. My grandmother is from Malta in particular. Did my internet die? Oh, I'll be so upset if my internet died. Oh, I'll be really angry if my internet dies. Okay, I don't know what all was heard, but apparently my internet decided to have a moment. So anyway, the reason why I want to have a setting inspired by Malta is because that's where my family's from. And so I have been dying to try and incorporate it in some way for a very long time. But most of my projects are set all in the same kind of fantasy world, and it's really difficult for me to branch outside of that. But currently, I'm excited enough that I may be able to make something out of this. I don't know. It could also just be world building and research for fun. So yeah. If you were present during my research streams, you may also recognize the note-taking method I'm doing here. Essentially, I'm just doing bullet points and then I'm transitioning it into the Cornell method when I'm done, just to make things easier to organize. And it also, especially for like a big thing like researching a country, once I have notes down, I can say, okay, I need to know more about this thing, or, this thing's cool, I can reference it. Like, I'm very excited. So when I was doing preliminary research from Wikipedia, leave me alone. I'm gonna do more research on it, of course, but there was a phenomenon, and I can't speak Maltese yet, but the Majmuna stone This was the inscription on it. You who reads this, see that dust covers my eyelids. In my place and in my house, nothing but sadness and weeping. What will my resurrection be like? And I desperately need to include that somewhere. So things like that. And I've been kind of keeping tabs along the way. So this is my current list of things I need to look into. So come on. And it just keeps growing, unfortunately. So looking into the Sakani peoples, because those were like Proto-Sicilians, I believe. This phase of civilization, Dolmen's golden age of Moorish culture, because there was heavy Moorish influence in early Malta, slavery in Malta, municipium status under Roman rule, because they achieved municipium status under Roman rule, but before then they were something else. So I wanted to look into like what that means. Saint Paul in Malta and his influence, because Saint Paul had a massive influence on Malta, its development, and Maltese culture, because he basically introduced Christianity to them when he shipwrecked there. Greek influence on Malta, of course. Village festas, or like giant Saints' Day festivals that they have, and the Saints' Days are different depending on like the patron saint of each village. Maltese folk music, which we were listening to, Ane, feudal Malta. There's a specific text, Il Cantilena, and Maltese literature in general. The Knights of St. John and the Knights of Malta, because as far as I know, they're two separate organizations and both had a lot of impact on Malta. The Golden Age of Malta, Malti-Italian superstitions, because Malta they adopted a lot of superstitions and beliefs and customs from kind of all over, because they were kind of occupied by a lot of different people. But because they're so close to Sicily, Italy in particular had a lot to do with like the things they believe and whatnot. And so did the British. And so British influence and rule over Malta is another big thing I need to look at. And then for whatever reason, there was a lot of immigration out of Malta in the 20th century, especially during like World War II and whatnot. So I want to look into why that is. British Maltese school systems, because the Maltese school system is heavily taken from the British school system. Diglossia, which is a phenomenon essentially where different languages are used for different things in a culture. And so in Malta's case, it was like a, I need to find the quote that I had. Something that I saw was Maltese is the language of the kitchen and the workshop, where Italian was the language of literature, law, and commerce, and so I want to look more into that, and especially how it pertains to Malta itself. Maltese writers and styles of literature, and then I saw something about the Southern Gothic influence on Malta. I need to look more into that and like what the hell's on there. Maltese lace making, which looks super cool. Maltese horse racing and horse racing in general, because that's a really big thing in Malta. They have an annual race that they do, and especially the Knights of, I think, Malta took it very seriously. Can't say this word, but they have their own sort of bagpipes that I want to look into. And then Our Lady of Mount Carmel, she has a lot of Saints' Days in, I think, August, depending on like where in Malta you are. The National Folklore Commission of Malta, the Ministry for Culture and the Arts in Malta, Malta International Folk Festival, which happens every year, I believe. This area holds a Maltese traditional wedding every year, because the Maltese traditional wedding has kind of fallen out of fashion, but in order to kind of like keep the information about it alive, there's a quote-unquote wedding that's held every year in around April, I believe, that people can like go to and witness to see traditional Maltese wedding customs. Maltese cuisine is going to be important. This tradition, the craving mark, or I don't know how to say this yet, Maltese folktales, and then this, which is another sort of instrument, and then these are all things that I want to kind of reference maybe in my project that I might be developing. So obviously the Majuma stone that I told you about, the Ilgostra sport is fascinating. Essentially, it's a really long log that's like hovered over the wall. Like it's hovered over the water basically, and they cover it in animal fat. And they're supposed to try and race to the end to get one of the 3 flags, and the 3 flags all have different prizes attached to them. Maltese bagpipes, we just talked about. Our Lady of Mount Carmel, I just talked about. Maltese month names are kind of metal as fuck. And then this is a specific festival that takes place. Is this my... Yeah. Because St. Peter and St. Paul are both very important to Malta as well. And this festival in particular traces back to the Roman festival of Luminaria. So, all these sorts of different things. And then, yeah, that's a traditional instrument. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say a lot of these words, but I would like to learn eventually. So yeah, I'm just kind of doing preliminary research and then finding things to kind of like focus on as I go through and learn more things. And I just wanted to share that today. So all this is for the purpose of having a post-apocalyptic fantasy where maybe this is a civilization that existed prior to the flood. It may be like a society that is built after the flood. I haven't fully decided yet, but I do know that I want it to be prominent, especially in the main character's life. The shape of that I haven't fully decided yet. So we're just gonna kind of go through here. I don't have my sound on, so I can't hear what's playing, but hopefully you can. 67 local councils. Huh. Apparently growing weed is a big one. And counterfeiting money. National prison. I'm also pretty tired, so I'm misspelling a lot. Juvenile court is in the Center for Social Welfare.
θα με ποδώσει κλέφτη. Έλα, έλα, μικρή μου λεμονιά μου. Έλα, έλα, μικρή μου λεμονιά μου, μα εσύ πέφτει για ένα κλαδί λεμόναντο, θα με αποδώσει κλέφτη. Έλα, έλα, μικρή μου λεμονιά μου.
Yeah, they also have a really big club scene. And like pub crawling is a sort of rite of passage for Maltese teens and whatnot, which I thought was fascinating. This one will be interesting.
Καθημερινή και σχολική θα γυρέσει κλόνου σου σε ξένο περιβόλι. Έλα, έλα, μικρή μου λεμονιά μου.
It's also, unfortunately, a super Catholic country.
Το τέλος ο χρόνος απέτυχε.
Still pretty patriarchal over there. I don't know what communion, or I think I know what communion is. I don't know what confirmation means. Because I was not raised in a Christian household. So far, traditional Catholic things. Over 98% of Malta is Roman Catholic, although I think less than like 50% of them actively attend church, which is interesting. This is not one I've heard before. Franciscan. They also celebrate Carnival. Also, there's a pretty big death metal scene on Malta, from what I learned. It's like, I was doing research, and like, this isn't a complete list, obviously, but that's death metal, that's thrash black metal, symphonic black and thrash metal, death metal, metal, melodic death metal, hardcore death metal. There's a flamenco performer, which I didn't know. So, like, they have a pretty big metal and rock scene. And I actually added several of these artists to my list, including this one, this one. I think she had like one song on Spotify, and I added that one. I think I added her too, I can't remember. This one's all over the place. This one is the most famous social media presence out of Malta, because he also has, so a lot of his music is using like the Minecraft note blocks. Which reminds me, I need to tell my best friend about that. This one's a rapper. This one's pop and R&B. Some of these, it was, because it's like, they're a singer, and they performed in Eurovision, and it's like, okay, what do they do? This one is a, oh shit, like, an electronic, like, dance/house musician, and I was very excited about that one, so she's on my list. Fuck, stop doing that. when you look up this one, if you don't specify that you're looking for the band, you get Harry Potter results, and I don't like that. But yeah, this one does flamenco music. It's indie folk band, electronic, like, they're kind of all over the place. And then, yeah, this is where I learned about the Maltese bagpipes. There's also a distinction between Malta country and Malta island because there's like 6 islands. The most prominent ones being Malta, Gozo. And then there's another one where there's a significant. This is me looking up holidays. Here we go. I don't know why it took me. So Malta, Gozo, and Comino are like quote unquote the main ones. And then there's Comunito and Fifla. And I think there's a population there, but mostly it's these two have the bulk of the population. There's some agriculture on this one, and then it's kind of question marks from there. Okay, and that's kind of it for that website. I don't know if I'm going to use these last couple websites just because they're Maltese overviews, and I've kind of gotten a lot that I need already about Malta, but... And then this is where the oh, what is it called? I hate it so much, and I cannot say it anymore. Cornell method. Cornell method comes in.
Στρώνει μια παλιόψαθα γαλάνη γαλαζιανή. Με στρώνει μια παλιόψαθα κόρη καλαματιά.
Damn it. So, what are some things I want to take away from this? So, fun fact that I learned is the second most densely populated country behind Singapore. I did not mean to do that. They also eat cuttlefish sometimes. Oh, pastizzi is a big one too. I watched a whole video about pastizzi. Rabbit stew is like their top dish. That was one thing about the nights too, is I can't remember which festival it is, but there was a festival that was like the one time of the year that common folk could hunt and eat rabbits because otherwise it was reserved for I think the nights in Malta. Um, That was one thing I wanted to look into. Here. There's so many things. Okay. So, Maltese farming practices. Maltese wildlife. Do I have megalithic structures listed already? I feel like I do. Don't know what my neighbors are doing, but Maltese economy. Franciscan pilgrimage. I need to look into this one. The thing from what I've gleaned here that I kind of reference off the bat. It's easy. I'm gonna add that here. Okay. I'm just gonna look at this page really quickly, see if there's anything new here I can really use, and move on. Yeah, this is the second website that mentions there was a lot of migration out of Malta, but not a whole lot about why. Okay, not much I can really use there. Let's look at this one. Some information about Medina specifically. Okay. Well, we'll take some things from this one because it talks about Medina and then it starts to mention some other stuff I haven't wrote down yet. So, this is what do you stand for? It's a vacation management club. You know what? We're not gonna. I just kind of pulled up links and now I'm kind of going through them. Original Travel Co. This is more of the same shit. This is these people. This is kind of an overview that I already. Oh, maybe. Hmm. Yeah, nobody really wants to say why so many people moved, just that they did. Oh yeah, so Pasizzi. And this talks about some Maltese things. So, now that I have an overview of things I want to look more into, Mm. Hmm. Might be able to read that. Netflix show. Let's see. That's something completely different. Russia's host claimed that the nation's megalithic temples, thousands of years older than previously established. Ancient apocalypse. Oh, that doesn't bode well. What is it with people in fucking pseudoscience? Upsets me like nothing else. That's disappointing. Most of these are talking about this show. Not entirely what I Oh, of course. That's disappointing. And again, the Sakani are mentioned, so for this one, it'd probably be good to look into the Sakani themselves and maybe I can find more of what I'm wanting. We'll look at this one. This. Skipped a step. Now I need to fix this. Because I have Malta.com, it automatically wants to put that to fix this. There. Okay. Okay, not much there, but that's about what we got. Oh, this is like to actually see it. That's sick as fuck. Oh, and I might get some. Well, I might have some info. No. Ooh, ooh. That's sick as fuck though. Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's really cool. We're gonna use that. Holy shit, that's really cool. Okay. Alright, turn this into a porno. Sure would help if I could spell. I needed that. Merge. I need to look into Sakani. So the only thing I really picked up there. Yet another thing to add to the list is the Venus of Willendorf. And I guess I'm gonna cross this one off the list. I'll look into this next. After I look at this, because this is cool as fuck. I also need to look at St. Paul and his influence. And we'll add Venus here as well. Heritage Malta. Or at least take something from this because that tour is cool. I wish it would name all the layers. That's okay. Corresponding to a volcanic ash layer, we present outside lies over the deer layer and the top layer. And then it says, so is the cultural layer the top layer? I'd assume so because it says 5 main layers of interest. So there's clay layer, hippopotamus, an unnamed one, the deer, and then the cultural. That's cool. I don't care who you are, that's fucking cool. And that's just like the outside into that's so cool. Oh, that's neat. That is neat as fuck. Um, oh, is it not playing music anymore? That's cool. Video pause. Continue watching. Yes. I don't know when it stopped. My bad. Let's start this one over for you. I don't know what's going on with his kitties, so. But yeah, Freya's cool. I like his music. No, this is sick as fuck. It'd be cool to actually, like, go there. Alright. Oops. Paste. Sukita, 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 sukita. This is the summary. That's cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Alright. Next thing I think we're gonna like look into look into the Sakani peoples and see what we can find there. Check.
στρώνει μια παλιόψαθα γαλάνη γαλαζιανή, με στρώνει
No.
μια παλιόψαθα κόρη καλαματιανή.
And this doesn't really have anything. Okay. So just these two about the Sakani.
Χρυσό παπλώμα και ένα χρυσό παπλώμα. Πέφταν καλιάζω μάλαμα γαλάνη γαλαζιανή, πέφταν καλιάζω μάλαμα κόρη καλαματιανή. Θεέ μου ξημέρωσε με, Θεέ μου ξημέρωσε με, Θεέ μου ξημέρωσε με, Θεέ μου ξημέρωσε με.
Seems to be mostly about Sicily itself. Oh, I see. It's like a... Yeah. Okay, so there's not actually much about Saccani. Because then it becomes Sicily, and then it becomes ancient Italian people. Okay, okay. So then, yeah, there's the Siculi, the Amini, Saccani. So the Saccani was just kind of around there, and then allegedly they got migrated down here, if I'm understanding right. Interesting. Okay. This one will hopefully have some more information, potentially.
Έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, έξω έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα. Άμα θέλεις μάνα, ντύρε με, άμα θέλεις μάνα, ντύρε με. Πάλι εγώ θα βγαίνω στην αυλή, τα να βλέπω τον Αλεξανδρής. Το μαργούδικη Αλεξανδρής, το μαργούδικη Αλεξανδρής, βγαίνουν στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, βγαίνουν στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, βγαίνουν στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, βγαίνουν στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα. Σιργή γειτουνιακή που σπουρείς, σιργή γειτουνιακή που σπουρείς, σιργή μάνα της φύ μουρμουρείς, σιργή μάνα της φύ μουρμουρείς, σιργή μάνα της φύ μουρμουρείς, σιργή μάνα της φύ.
Then we can kind of cross off the list is
έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα, έξω στην αυλή κρύφα, κρύφα. Άμα θέλεις μάνα, ντύρε με, άμα θέλεις μάνα, ντύρε με. Πάλι εγώ θα βγαίνω στην αυλή, τα να βλέπω τον Αλεξανδρή.
see what this brings us.
Üsküdar'a giderken aldı da bir yağmur. Üsküdar'a giderken aldı da bir yağmur. Katibimin setresi uzun eteği çamur. Katibimin setresi uzun eteği çamur. Katip uykudan uyanmış gözleri mahmur. Katip uykudan uyanmış gözleri mahmur. Katibenim ben katibin elle karışır. Katibime karalı gömlek ne güzel yaraşır. Üsküdar'a giderken bir mendil buldum. Üsküdar'a giderken bir mendil buldum. Mendilimin içine lokum doldurdum. Mendilimin içine lokum doldurdum. Katibimi arar iken yanımda buldum. Katibimi arar iken yanımda buldum. Katibenim ben katibin eline karışır. Katibime kolalı da gömlek ne güzel yaraşır. Αποξένω τόπο κι απαλαρχινό. Αποξένω τόπο κι απαλαρχινό. Ήρθε ένα κορίτσι φως μου 10 χρονών. Ήρθε ένα κορίτσι φως μου 10 χρονών. Ούτε στην πόρτα βγαίνει ούτε στο στενό. Ούτε στην πόρτα βγαίνει ούτε στο στενό. Ούτε στο παράθυρι φως μου και λόγια να της πω. Ούτε στο παράθυρι φως μου και λόγια να της πω.
That's really cool. It looks like after they're integrated by the Greeks, they kind of disappear and then the seculi go out. If I'm understanding right. There it is. That's fascinating. Anything from here I would need to look into further. Mm, not really. I mean, this just kind of gives some background about first settlers of Malta is all. So I think I can leave that there, really. Okay, what else should I look into? Ah, fuck. What are some things I could cross off the list here? What are that? Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. So it doesn't require a whole page. I feel like St. Paul's going to be a big one. I feel like I'm not going to get a whole lot of answers about that one. That one I'm just kind of curious about, but I'm going to exit off the list for now. Trying to think of like what all I actually need for story purposes from this list of things. Because some of this is just for fun. So I was like, oh, I want to learn more about that, but I really should try and make it more story relevant. Mm, kind of want to look at dolmens. So let's look at dolmens. Maybe I should be more specific about Maltese ones. So I'm mostly getting like the ones in Sicily might be important too. Nice. 6 pages. Okay. That's underwhelming. Disappointing. I'm not really learning what they were used for. Because, like, well, everybody else used them for this, but they didn't. Okay, well, what did we use them for? Like, they're cool, but it's like, why are they there? Just kind of keep saying the same stuff over and over with like slightly new evidence. Insular specializations. I mean, especially something that big, they don't just throw it together for no reason. Hmm. Okay. Look at that later. Hmm. They're even in Korea. Okay, well, there was something at least. The megalithic temples again. It's about the dolmens in Sicily. Okay. So we'll look at the megalithic temples next. Yeah, that's interesting. Not as exciting as I would have liked, but I don't know what diglossia is, so I guess I don't really need it. You kind of cool to learn more about, though. Let's see, Golden Age of Moorish culture. The Moors are really good. They only came up in the first thing I was really looking at, so I'm gonna erase that too. Um, kind of know about festas, but I can learn more. So, okay. Mhm. This is getting very, very technical, so I'm not taking too many notes about its actual construction, but I already wrote about the UNESCO sites. This is further notes about them. Maybe it's important. Okay, this one would be useful. Also has more phases. Okay, interesting. I think I'm gonna end it here for tonight though, because I'm starting to get tired and because I've done nothing for basically all day but look and look and look at things about Malta. So that's where I'm gonna end it. Thank you for watching if you watched, and I hope you found this as fascinating as I have. I am going to, I'll probably have a stream on Wednesday, maybe, depending on how I'm feeling. And we'll kind of go from there. Things are really up in the air right now. I want to talk at some point about the Boeing strike and what's kind of all going on there, but I just, every time I think about it, my brain melts. So, anyway, thanks for tagging along and have a good night.